Three Peaks in March, but we're going up to we're going to randomly go up and do Scafell, aren't we? Just me and you.
And then Wales in September as well.
We've got Wales in September with a group of us, and then we're going back in March, and we're going to do all three, hopefully.
Nice.
Well, we are.
I really want to do that actually. Like that's on my list to do.
Come do it with us.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah. I've done Helvellyn.
Yeah.
I just randomly decided I want to go up a mountain, so I just went up, which apparently is not a good idea because you're gonna.
He knows all about that.
That's kind of most of the mountains I've ever done. There's been like that,
He done the 3 Peaks in 24 hours just off a whim.
Really? Did you drive it as well yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke about it on a podcast like a while ago, but I was going for a bit of a rough time at that point in my life, and I went off on a mad one. Yeah. I didn't tell anyone. I just went and done it. Yeah. I didn't even tell anyone immediately after I'd done it. Yeah. Because I kind of went there with the thought of like maybe not coming back and just go and fucking seeing what happened. But I did, and I was on my own. I did all the driving on my own. Wow. I was on an absolute mad one.
That's hard going.
But it was good. I mean,
most people use drink and drugs.
I had a year where I wasn't, I certainly didn't turn to drink or drugs or anything like that. But it was more just like physical stuff. I was just trying to like push myself to the limit and find my breaking point and all this. And I went off and done that, and it was only really like a year or so ago, really, when I found some old footage of some stuff that I filmed at the time, and it made me realise, oh fucking hell, I did actually do that. Yeah, that was what I achieved, and that was what I'd done. And then I thought, wow, no, that was pretty awesome, but obviously my mental state at the time wasn't great.
It's a shame it wasn't done on better terms, but it's still impressive.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and and then ever since I just had a passion for going and doing mountains.
Yeah, someone said to me the other day, do you reckon Jack will be able to do it now he's in the better headspace? I was like, you don't know Jack at all. you pretty much ran up the mountain last time.
But that was only a couple of months. I'd done like 13 miles all through the Lake District, all different peaks and all sorts. So I bloody love it. So going and doing that again, that'd be nice. Because I'll be more like the mountain guide and dragging his ass up there.
You look more like the Billy Goat at the minute.
So we were in a beard challenge.
Right.
I lost.
And he lost. Because basically me, at the time when he said, oh, let's do it, I went, are you sure, Samuel? Because he's not the best with challenges. Even though he done one and done
he
done one that was quite good.
But name one other challenge I've failed.
What?
Name another challenge I've failed.
Many.
Like what?
Just
what?
Loads, just loads of challenges.
Name one. I'll give you a minute. Name one.
You just give up on things and go.
Like what? Like what? That's bullshit.
You can't bring anything up. I don't know whether I believe it.
I lost the beer challenge.
Wow. And now you're just terrible at challenges. Anyway.
What is the beard challenge though? Like
so
you're not allowed to shave.
So he said we weren't allowed to shave until
we had Bearded Manners on the podcast.
Right.
He's got a shop in Charlie Manning's, and I've got fucking Tourette's or something, I think, because whenever we're on the podcast I come up with these stuff and I'll just blurt it out. And I always say to him, don't let me say anything stupid, but I always do. And we had him, and I was thinking, don't say it. And he said something, I went, let's do a beard challenge. and we were going to do it up until Christmas and shave them off together, weren't we? But
that's long,
it was doing my head in.
I'm kind of at a point now where I'm just proving a point.
Yeah.
In my defence, I work in the kitchen, and they were going to make me wear a beard net, and I was like,
no, you can't do that.
No, but could be worse. Honestly, I thought it was Ian Bill when you were at the door.
Oh, classic,
No, I'm very close to. I think I might do it this weekend. To be fair, just get rid of it.
Well,
do you go completely off, or do you just leave some?
No, I leave a little bit.
Yeah.
Not quite as much as that. That still looks like bum territory, but
excuse me.
Anyway.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. But yeah.
Obviously, I haven't got any mirrors anywhere.
So I'll get rid of it this weekend. And then get back to being me a little bit better.
You do look a bit homeless, but
yeah, I'll get the comments at work as well.
Yeah,
that's been a lot more positive generally, rather than the stuff I get from you.
I'll be honest, I think you look better with that beard.
Yeah.
Some people can put it off, like Jason from Bearded Manners was lovely beard. But yours not
lovely beard.
Yeah. I saw him today. Yeah, he's coming to the event in in July.
Marvellous. Excellent. Anyway, Sam, more importantly, who have we got on the show today?
We've got Holly.
Hello.
Hello. We've been recording this.
Yeah, I thought you might have been. I thought you'd be sneaky like that.
I got him on like just off the spare. I was hoping to get you on anyway because you've got a massive challenge coming up, which we're going to talk about. But I literally just messaged you today asking you to come on.
I'm glad you've said that because like when I'm really unprepared now, like, people will know that I had like 2 hours.
Yeah, I listened to you on the radio with Rob.
Yeah.
Rob come on. He was a guest with us.
Yeah, I listened to it.
Yeah, he's I thought that was a really good interview. So you just repeat what you said on there. You get stuck.
Thanks.
But we'll go back before we get into your challenge, which is an amazing cause, by the way.
Thank you.
Get to know you a bit.
Sure.
I just said your name, but where you come from?
Holly. I'm from Felixstowe. Well, I always say I'm from Felixstowe because it's like my spiritual home. I would say my dad lived there, and obviously we'll go into how much he meant to me. I live in Ipswich now. I work in marketing. I'm a graphic designer. Basic things really. Not much like interesting stuff to tell probably, like just about myself, or I don't think so anyway.
What about your work or just you in general?
I think me and
I'm just quite boring.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I don't know whether I am, but I kind of feel like speaking about myself.
You're definitely not. I follow you on Instagram.
Do you not think? Okay, that's good. I feel like speaking about myself is quite difficult sometimes. So I feel like
it's a lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah, not us.
Not us. We're all right.
That's good.
That's anything. It's one of my favourite things to do.
That's an acquired skill.
Yeah. Some people are just born like it. Like me, for instance.
Yes,
me. But back to you.
So you born and raised in Felixstowe?
Yeah, Felixstowe and Shotley, so I'm like one side of the water and the other side. That's sort of where I've grown up, so I'm like a country girl, but always spent my childhoods down Felixstowe Ferry, which was like an amazing childhood, like different from anything else because we're just playing on boats and in mud and making dens and stuff. And I think it was an amazing place to grow up.
Yeah, because your old man was a fisherman, didn't he? Now, I've seen pictures of your dad from your posts and everything. Yeah. And he's just like one of them faces you know of in Felixstowe, isn't he? I don't remember meeting your dad, but I know of it. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like if you've been down the ferry at any point, even if you went crabbing once down the ferry, you would have seen my dad.
Yeah. What was your dad's name again?
Pete.
Yeah. He was a fisherman, and did he live on a boat down there?
He did, yeah. So like for my entire lifetime, he lived in a houseboat. Like regardless of whether that was like in the river or in the boatyard, he always lived on a houseboat. No running water, no electric, nothing like that. He like elected to be out of the rat race, as he would call it. So like he would take pride in like telling people I don't have a TV, like I don't have electric, anything like that. So that like having that as like my childhood as well was like really interesting.
Yeah. Did it take him long to adapt to that, or was he?
I don't think he ever really had it, to be honest.
Really?
Like because he was in the merchant navy, so like that's not really a normal like thing anyway, and you have TVs like back in the day. And then I don't think he ever like had a life where he lived in a house from back when he was a kid. Like he lived in it when he was a kid, then he went onto a ship, and then after that I think he pretty much lived in a houseboat like the whole time.
Remind me a bit of old Ken, who we Did you see that one?
Hermit Traig, Scotland.
There's a documentary of him on BBC iPlayer, and when we went to Scotland, we hiked about 2 hours to go meet him, and he lives in a shed in the middle of nowhere.
That's amazing. My dad would break that.
Yeah.
So that's quite a unique sort of upbringing dynamic that you've got there. Did you have any brothers or sisters?
No, just me.
Okay.
But I had like friends that lived down there as well, so like we kind of shared that together. But yeah, incredibly unique.
Yeah, definitely. Whereabouts was your old man's then? Because I remember going for walks along there, and there was boats that looked like they'd been stuck in the mud. There was two faces in there.
Yes, that's the hippo. So I know the people that own that. So my dad's was next to that was like one further back, like as you walk up, like Hippo was at the end, and then my dad's was there. But probably like, I don't know, when I was about like 9 or something, it came out of the water and it went in the boatyard. So it was like at the back of the boatyard, so we, you know, people didn't see it so much, but
it used to terrify me that when I was a kid.
The faces. And there was like Hippo in the mud as well. Like they love that. I feel like they love anything that like gets people's attention. Like they're always changing stuff up there.
Did you stay on the boat with your dad then?
Yeah.
But how was that then? Did you feel?
I feel like when you grow up with it, it's normal. And then like until I kind of became an adult, like I didn't realise how weird it was until I was like, oh yeah, like we didn't even have like a toilet or anything. Like it was so low level, like, but it was great fun. Like he'd light like a lamp instead of lights, and we listened to the radio.
Like going back in time.
But like I almost like wish I still had that, because it's so like therapeutic, like cut off from everything. And
amazing way to live.
So
what did he fish for?
Oh, I've got no idea.
No, did
to be fair,
is that how he got his food and everything?
Nah. So he did it to sell on. So like he'd do it for like you know, like pubs and stuff. But like he did that like before I was alive. Like, so he retired before I came about. So I didn't really know that much about that side of him. The only thing that he did do is he used to rake the bunkers. You know, it's like a golf course down Felixstowe Ferry. So he used to rake the bunkers down there as well. Really? Like that was his job. Like when I knew him. So
cool. And he unfortunately, what was it? Dementia.
Yeah, Alzheimer's, but he had Parkinson's as well. I think they're like relatively linked. And like people can have like symptoms of like Alzheimer's and dementia whilst having Parkinson's. It kind of like links together. So like whether he really like had Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or like some sort of dementia, but there's not quite like a defining thing. But he definitely, you know, had signs of all of it.
And how old was he?
88.
So how long did he have it for?
I think it was about 2018 that he got like diagnosed with it, but by the time he got diagnosed with it, he was too unaware to know. So like we went to an appointment, they told him, we told him, and like by the time he'd left, he didn't know that he had it. Like he didn't remember things, like his short-term memory was like non-existent. So like in a way it's kind of nice, because he never knew. Like it wasn't like, oh, you've got Alzheimer's and like they worry and all of that. Like he didn't have any of that. It was us that, like, it sounds harsh to like make it about yourself, but it was like us that had to deal with it rather than him.
It does affect the families a lot more though, doesn't it? My nan had the same thing, and of course it affected all of us, but how much it affected my mum, and my mum having to go to the nurse home every single day, and it is the families that get affected more, really, because they're not aware, like you say. But
exactly.
I do normally ask people if you mind talking about anything.
Oh no, go ahead. It's fine.
Like that. I'll just fire questions.
I'll just leave.
So this challenge that you've set up, was this all your own idea? This is for your dad, obviously, which is incredible. Did Man Up get in touch with you in the end?
No.
I'll get onto him. Dan. We're going to get Dan to give you some help and support.
Oh, thank you.
And you can speak your story with him. I know he's on holiday at the minute, but the more people that get involved, the better. Do you want to tell us a little bit about?
Yeah, sure. So I think it was probably about like a couple of months after I lost Dad. I was like, I want to do something, like a big challenge, because I wanted something to focus on. Like I've done challenges before, like I'm a bit of a challenge type person. I'll go and do it. Like I went and did a boxing match. I went and did like, I don't know, like a 26-mile hike or something. Like, and I just thought I want to do something like really big this time, because it's for him. So I think I was like sitting at home all comfy, and you don't think about walking for ages. Like when you're sat at home, you don't think about it. So it'd be good to like do a really like long walk, and I was trying to think of things that were like relative to Dad, and like something that would like link back to him. And obviously like he used to be a fisherman, and he used to like be on ships and stuff. So like the Suffolk Coast is actually like really like relevant, because he lived there, he worked there. It was like his favourite place to be. Like he used to watch the ships, obviously, like from the port he used to watch the ships and everything. So like I was like, I wonder how long like the entire Suffolk Coast is. And I googled it and I was like 60 miles and I was like, yeah, I can do that. It'll be fine. So I didn't really like look into it that much at the time. I was like, I've done 26 miles, like how much harder can it be? So I thought
about 40 something.
Yeah.
My maths is shocking. That's terrible.
40, but yeah, so I just thought, I'll train for it and it'll be fine. Like I'll give myself like 6 months to train for it. Yeah. And it'll be fine. So like I looked up the distance, 60 miles. Yeah, fine, doable. And yeah, I just went from there. Really, I was just like.
Thing is, though, a lot of that will be on. Will it?
Shingle and stuff.
Yeah, stones and stuff. Yeah.
There's quite a bit. So I've kind of incorporated that into my training because that's hard work. It's really hard work. I'm trying to avoid that way possible.
What was the 26 miles you walked for then?
I did that for Alzheimer's research. So I did do that like alongside the dad thing as well. Obviously that was before he passed away, but I just wanted to do something. And that was in the Peak District, so that was quite nice. But I was very disappointed with that because there wasn't actually many peaks.
Right.
I was expecting to be really
Peak, that's ironic. It's like you'd think Peak District would have all the peaks and Lake District would be all the lakes. But, it's kind of the opposite, really.
But there are some cool peaks. Quite a different location. But yeah, there are some peaks in the Peak District, but not the bit that I went. Yeah, they're smaller, but so it was quite flat. And I guess you're glad of that when you're walking, but I was expecting to be walking through the Lake District. Of course, it wasn't.
Yeah. I think this one would be more special for you because are you spiritual or?
Not really.
No, I reckon you'll feel quite connected to your old man.
Well, I feel like that's I can get on board with sort of stuff like that. I think everything that I see around the coast and stuff. Our dad would really like that, or Dad's been here, and
Yeah, I reckon you're feeling with you while you're doing that. It'd be nice for you. So when is it? When you start?
It is I can't believe I've forgotten. It's Father's Day. So
of course,
not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So the
shit, is it Father's Day in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Better write that in your calendar.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it kind of coincided with I wanted to do it on a day where it had the most daylight because I've got to start really early in the morning, finish quite late. Yeah. But I was looking around them days and I was like, oh, actually it's Father's Day. That's really fitting. So I went for that, and obviously it's on a Sunday, so I'm hoping there'll be loads of people about, hopefully cheering me on and stuff.
So are you doing it just on your own, or you got?
I'm the only one that's doing all of the whole distance, but then I've got friends that are going to come along.
That's what you need.
And I've put good friends. They're all good friends. Don't get me wrong, but I have put good friends at the end because I know that they're gonna
You've got to be careful because people are listening to.
That's what I was thinking. I was shit. I can't
judging by the map here, I'm not such a good friend.
You've got me at the start.
Well, luckily, it's my mum and my stepdad at the start, so they don't count as friends. So
Okay,
right. So your mum's coming to do it with you as well to start with.
Yeah, so she's staying over with me. So we'll stay over in Lowestoft, and then we're going to start at 2:45 in the morning. Nice. So there's not many people that would get up at that time in the morning with me, so I've roped my mum along.
You'll have to get your mates that are coming out the nightclub.
Yeah, literally. There will be people coming out probably.
I was just trying to think. So you're start at Lowestoft, and then you work all the way down.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
How did you find the way you were going to do it then?
What, the actual route?
Yeah.
So it's mainly based off the Suffolk Coastal Path, which is an existing path anyway.
Okay. You mean other people do this?
Well, they do it. Everyone else does it in little chunks. They do,
not extreme.
There is an ultra run as well that does the Suffolk Coastal Path as well.
A run? Cool. I literally got stitched when you said run. That's how unfit I am.
Good luck dragging him up the peak.
Tell me about
it. I actually did get on his back on one mountain.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's the one overlooking Curragh Station.
Yeah, I never felt so safe.
That's what Harry said.
Yeah. Oh, my eyes are stinging.
Oh,
I've got hay fever.
Okay.
I'll bring the mood down.
So, that's quite an incredible challenge. So what have you done up to this point to kind of prepare yourself? What have you done?
Loads of walking.
Yeah.
Just loads of walking. But I put a little training plan together to keep accountable and we'll need to do this distance on this week and then slowly build it up.
What do you listen to when you're?
Oh, mainly podcasts, to be honest. Like I like David Goggins.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna actually have to listen to David Goggins on the walk because like that motivates me so much.
Yeah.
When I'm struggling, I'll put him on.
Yeah.
But yeah, like mostly podcasts. I'll sometimes put some music on, but it's mostly podcasts because that distracts you, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
If you're listening and you're really getting into something, you're not thinking about like how much your feet hurt or like whatever.
That David Goggins is fucking brilliant.
Oh, because you were listening to him, weren't
you?
I
just downloaded the second book.
Yeah.
It put me off. You put me off that.
Yeah,
a bit. You're like, it's not as good.
but you'll know what I mean. Like you will know what I mean.
I started listening to it a little bit today, but that was you that said as well that Amazon, you only get one bloody credit, don't you? So you have to be careful with which one you pick.
Yeah.
I actually can't see anything. I'm really sorry. It looks like I'm going to cry, but I'm not. It's because I've had to shut the window, but this has got all fucking cat hairs on it. But if it looks like I'm tearing up in the story, I'm not.
It's just a really moving story. That's what it is. He's pretending it's hay
fever. It is, but I do cry a lot on the podcast.
So what sort of response have you had from sort of when you first sort of said this is what you're going to do, and then you kind of in memory of your dad and that. So what's the response been like?
It's been really good, to be fair. Like everyone's got behind me. Like I only need to post about it once and I'll get like a few more donations in, and it's really like surprising sometimes. I think, oh, like that person, I haven't spoken to them for ages, but they'll come through with a donation or like they'll share it or like whatever. And it's like, it's really wholesome because it's like, oh, I didn't realise that many people were paying attention to what I'm doing.
It's nice to do stuff for people that aren't here anymore as well, because it keeps their memory alive as well, doesn't it? And I think it's really nice story that you're doing it on Father's Day and that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice touch. Are you worried about it at all?
I'll tell you when I get worried about it. It's at the end of my training walks when I'm like really sore and I'm like, shit, I've got like another 35 miles to go on the day. But I think like the adrenaline and the excitement of the day will pull me through, like, and my friends and stuff, and knowing that it's for Dad and knowing that like I've got this thing to do, but once I've done it, I'll feel amazing. So I think like that will pull me through on the day, because obviously like my training walks, I tend like the long ones, no one really wants to come with me, so I just go and do them myself. So like it's easy to kind of get, oh, this is really difficult, and then that's all you think about.
Yeah, so you just literally been walking for miles to do it?
Yeah, pretty much.
To train with it?
Yeah, I mean, well, I go gym and stuff anyway, so I think a lot of people for walks, they'll do like leg exercises and stuff to build up balance and strengthen your legs, but I kind of do that anyway, so I kind of haven't bothered like putting that into my routine as such. But I think it's just like getting that stamina to like be on your feet for that long. It's a long time to just be moving, and even just like understanding like how your body reacts, because it's stuff that you don't think about, like you're moving, so like when you eat, like your digestion goes like weird.
That's what I was going to ask you. Are you going to be fasting while you do it, or?
Nah, so I'll eat, but I'll just try. I'll probably eat sparingly, and I'll eat like high, like energy, high sugar stuff. Like I'll eat like sweets.
So are you not allowed to stop?
I'm allowed to stop, but I don't want to stop for too long, because like if I've
start again.
Well, that, and also like if I've got to do it in a day, and like if I keep stopping, I won't finish in time. Like
so you've set yourself a challenge of 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to do it in about 22, because I want people to come to the end. But like it's going to be like 10:30, 11 as it is. So I feel like if I'm any later, like it'll just be me arriving at like Langard, like, oh, I've done it. I'm going home now.
Well, we wouldn't know because we went.
Exactly. No one knows the way. So I want to do it like, so I think I've got about like an hour and a half's worth of breaks, but I'll probably do them in like 10-15 minutes along the way, just to like eat.
I think that'd be the best way to do it, and just keep plodding on. If you, when you stop with things like that, you just don't want to do it anymore.
You seize up.
Yeah. I'd use a good trick of having someone in front of you with a bag of Haribos. That's how I got up at Nevis. But Rob had the Haribos, he kept going far ahead, and I was like, right. Before you know it was at the top with gummy bears.
That is a good trick, actually. I do like Tang Fastics are my like go-to snack.
I tell you what though, just one of them, and it gives you a right boost.
It does.
It's the little things.
People do jelly babies, but I'm like, they're so messy. I don't know why people choose jelly babies. It's like a go-to thing that like runners and
Really?
walkers will do. Jelly babies.
Oh, is this an actual thing?
Yeah.
I'm like a professional.
Jelly babies, yeah.
Yeah, but they're messy. They get everywhere. Like they get everywhere in your bag. Like why? So
I wouldn't even get in my bag.
So,
Don't make it to the bag.
I think it's like the Roundtrees one that have like the powdered sugar on them.
Yeah.
But then you've got like the Haribo ones which don't have that. They're just like
they're not
dry.
as nice though.
They're not as nice, but they've got the same effects. So that those are the ones to go to for.
Right.
I suppose it's just just a runner thing.
I should have known this. I run a bath.
But yeah, no, it's I mean that's genuinely an amazing challenge and a great cause. Have you had much sort of contact with is it Alzheimer's UK?
Dementia UK.
Dementia UK.
They've actually been really supportive.
Good.
Yeah, they when I first put it online, I made like an Instagram and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, this is amazing." They phoned me. They sent me loads of bits for like banners and stickers and like a selection box. I wish they sent me a selection box, a collection box.
Yeah.
And yeah, like they rang me up and they spoke to me about it, and they want me to do like content for social media and everything. So I've had like loads of support from them, which has been really nice.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's good, and that's what it's all about, getting that awareness out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And back. But sort of go back in time. But sort of when I'm guessing your dad was diagnosed with dementia. What sort of support was offered to kind of you as the family and?
You kind of have to go off and look for it, to be honest. Okay. I think with Dad, we were like really lucky because I mean, it sounds stupid saying lucky, but like a lot of people with Alzheimer's and dementia get quite like difficult and quite nasty, and also really difficult to care for. Whereas Dad, he kind of just like stopped doing stuff. So instead of like going and putting like the cat in the microwave or whatever, like he just like stopped doing it. Like, so with Dad, we didn't really need that much support. It was like obviously like mentally, like you want the emotional support, but in terms of actually dealing with difficult things, like the other than like actually like having to put up with the fact that he had dementia and that was sad, there weren't that much to deal with. Like he was like such an easy like person with Alzheimer's. Like he just like mellow, and like some people get really horrible. Some people get violent and like, who are you? Get out of my house! Like why are you taking me? You know, and some people get like hypersexual and all of those things. And I can imagine they're incredibly difficult to deal with. But we didn't have that. So like in terms of like reaching out, like I kind of didn't, because I had like physical help, like carers came in and helped him, but like I kind of didn't like need that support. But in talking to other people who have been dealing with dementia and like being part of Facebook groups and stuff, I've seen the stories about what people are dealing with, and I think that's kind of almost something that pushed me to do this, because I know how difficult it is for some people. Like I've had it, but I've had the tip of the iceberg. So like those people are the ones that will really benefit from like the Admiral nurses that Dementia UK have and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is a horrible thing, dementia. When my nan had it, and she had to eventually go in the home. Before she went in the home, she was very much aware that she was losing her mind.
Okay,
and she said then she didn't want to be here anymore for when it happened, and then eventually she just turned into a mute. She wasn't living, she was just existing. And it made me think then, like, what's more humane, really, letting them live like that? Or when my nan had her full mind, she should have been allowed that right, I think, to make that decision, because she knew which way things were going. And we had 2 years where she didn't even talk. She was just like I say, existing. She wasn't living, and it was horrible. And like you say, it's horrible. Like watching my mum's heartbreak, watching her mum like that was horrible. Difficult. Very, very difficult, because you lose the person, but the body's still there. Yeah, you know. But the soul's long gone, I think.
I think that's quite a good point, because obviously, like when my dad passed, I was obviously sad, but I kind of feel guilty for not feeling as sad as I feel like people think you should have done.
It's relief, isn't it? And you feel bad for saying that, but it's not relief for yourself. It's relief that they're not suffering anymore.
But the other thing is like, it's like with dementia, you lose the person like over a really long amount of time. So it's not like one moment I had my dad there and I could go to him for advice and he'd give me a hug and you know, he's my whole dad there. It's like there was a shell that has now like departed, but I lost him like ages ago, but I lost him so gradually that it wasn't that like really hard hitting.
So do you feel like you grieved why he was still alive then?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but it wasn't sort of like really hard grief, because it would be like one thing that I'd lose and like you almost don't notice. It's like, oh, like dad hasn't said that to me, or he hasn't done that for ages. Like you kind of notice it, but things fade out really slowly, so it's almost like a really long grief period, but like not so like hard, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can relate to that definitely.
Yeah.
It is sad. It is one of the biggest things in the UK as well, isn't it? Like, as you get older, I think it is actually from a heart condition as well, where it stems from.
I think you've got vascular dementia, which is to do with the heart, but actual dementia, I feel like I should know this. But yeah, I think vascular dementia is what you're thinking of.
Yeah. So is that completely different to what your dad had?
Dad just had Alzheimer's. Right. Vascular dementia is different. I couldn't tell you why. Yeah. But yeah, it's different. Yeah. So what's the date? So Father's Day you start it, and what time? 2:45 in the morning.
When's Father's Day? Not this weekend, but next.
It's the 18th.
18th. I'm trying to figure out if I'm at work or not. Let me check.
Just Google it. So,
just
right.
Google.
I'm pretty sure
you couldn't sound more Suffolk if you tried it.
Just Google it, mate.
Just Google it. Right, the 18th.
Yeah.
I'm off. So what are you doing on the Sunday?
I'll be off. I think I'm off every weekend.
I think we should make an effort to come and see you. What time?
There's a deal. We'll be there. At some point. I kind of want to go like halfway. What's halfway between those stuff?
Or the finish spot.
Aldborough. That's a great shout because we can get fish and chips as well. That Aldborough was nominated best fish and chips in Suffolk. I just saw that Sunday the 18th. I think we know what we're doing now.
Yeah, boom.
Nice. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely come up and support you.
We'll cheer as well.
And Jack will walk next to you with me on his back.
Yeah, you can like dangle the collection box as well.
Yeah, we'll get involved.
People on the head with it.
We'll 100% get involved.
Thank you.
Hopefully other people.
Size well, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you enjoy this challenge and want another one, then we're doing the 3 peaks, and you're more than welcome to. We're getting
that'll be a walk in the park after this, wouldn't it?
Well, it certainly will be.
It's more like a walk up 3 mountains. A walk in the park. I'll get out of breath with a walk in the park. We should have done that as a challenge.
What sort of advice would you give to someone? Obviously, it's a common illness, and obviously there's lots of people who will be experiencing the same things that you kind of went through.
Yeah. What
advice would you give to anyone that's sort of experiencing that with a family member?
I think learn about it. There's so many things that you can do to make the experience easier for the person, but like I kind of learned as I went, but there's so much advice out there and it can make things easier. Like for example, there was a problem where someone was worried about telling their mum with dementia that her sister had died, and it's kind of arguable as like to whether you would actually tell them, because they're going to forget in 5 minutes and you're going to tell them again. They have to deal with that like grief over and over again, and there's kind of ways to communicate with people with dementia to make it a lot easier. Like the amount of times like my dad would say, I'm waiting for my parents to come and pick me up. And I'd be like, yeah, they'll be here soon, Dad. Like, when are they coming up? They'll be there soon. Yeah. Obviously, like they're long gone. But if you keep going, no, you're not. Like your parents are gone. All of that, like you're just
There's
fighting
no
against
point
them.
in that. Like my nan, she was at Mill Lane, and then we moved her to a better nursing home, in my opinion, up in Trimley, and they really took care of her up there towards the end. But in Mill Lane, when I went to visit her, there was other people, and you just entertain them, because what's not real to you is very real to them. There was a woman who had a plastic doll, and she thought it was her baby, and she was getting really upset and saying her baby was. So I took the baby, and I was crazy. I turned around, my whole family stood at the door. I was like, they were like, "What's going on here?" So the baby was crying. But you entertain them.
Like, we're going to leave you here. Sam's
back on drugs.
there's ways of getting around it that make it easier for both of you, because otherwise it's just this back and forth.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, because you're just gonna like upset them continuously because they keep forgetting and then reliving it, and that's something
makes it complex one, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Look for the social media posts.
Yeah,
definitely.
And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe.
Yeah, all of that.
All of us.
Yeah. Plug the Instagrams. Yeah. Get them all in there.
Thanks so much for coming on and sharing the story. It's it's a heartbreaking story, but it's a lovely twist that you put on it to really put something out there that's positive, and inspire some people.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Just to end, can you just share with us a favourite memory you got with you and your dad?
Oh, there's so many.
You put you on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily a favourite, but it's a nice one. We always used to walk. We'd have our dinner, and then we'd, like, when the sun was setting, we'd go and have a walk on the golf course, and we'd find golf balls. So like, people would lose their golf balls all the time, we'd go and find them. We had loads of them, and we just used to stroll across the golf course and just find golf balls, and that was that. I mean, that's like,
hay fever.
It's literally probably one of the worst ones. I'll be driving home, I'll be like, oh, I should have said that, oh, I should have said that. But
no, it's nice
though. A lovely memory,
the ones that pop into your head are the ones that mean something anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'd be very, very, very well. He would be very proud of you for what you're doing.